How much national paid maternity leave do U.S. mothers receive?
I should know it.
I think it's maybe 4 weeks or something silly like that. No idea. 3 months, maybe?
I think it's 2 months.
6 weeks.
2 weeks.
3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Is it like 6 weeks? And don't they call it disability leave?
Yeah,
0.
Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
A catchy song.
0. Oh, okay. Good.
The answer is
That's
0?
very sad because
0.
Maternity
But
is
that's not everywhere, is it?
In the U.S.,
for humanity.
0.
Well,
All right, well,
0 national paid leave.
so 0 national paid leave. Now, I know I have...
Wait, you gotta wait till their end. It
Should be
shows this.
mandated is a different question. We don't have enough time for that one.
I know Canada have a lot.
14 weeks?
Right here,
What
wait
is
till
that?
well, you can't see it. It's hard to see, but it's listing all of these Western and like modern first world countries and how much time that they give people. It's shameful.
Yeah, I think in... So I know my cousin, Caitlin, just had a baby. And then my other cousin, Ashley, my cousin's wife, she just had a baby. She was in Massachusetts. And she had some sort of better benefits than Caitlin received in New Jersey. I don't know what that is. If it's maybe that you got like an extra 6 weeks off of paid leave or something like that.
It's probably from the company.
I'm pretty sure it was state.
there's state legislation on that. There is.
Well, I just became privy to that recently. I don't
California
know
has longer than others do.
And Massachusetts has a better one than Jersey, from what
The quote unquote more progressive states tend to.
Correct.
Now you said it's shameful. Why do you think it's shameful?
Because we have social nets for everything else, and then the one thing that is required to continue the existence of a country, we're saying there's no social net for that, none at all.
Where should it come? Where should that money come out of?
All of the taxes that we pay.
Yeah.
Where's
stop
that
giving it to
going?
Ukraine.
How about we put some
That-
term limits? How about we ask ourselves, why are you getting paid $250,000 to not do your job and represent your constituents? Why don't we say that? So it's not like we don't have the money. Exactly, foreign aid. Why are we spending billions? Oopsie daisy. It wasn't like we overpaid by $1 billion
there's
or something like that, and we're like, oops, accounting error.
Literally.
So don't tell me we don't have it.
Hundreds of billions of dollars are unaccounted for. The Pentagon has failed its last 3 or 4 audits.
We talk about student debt relief. That is nothing compared to raising a child.
How much does it cost? I think, did somebody tell me it was $100,000 to have a baby now? Medical costs. It's like $100,000.
That's not true.
It's not true.
That's
How much
false.
is it?
My first one was in the 30s, like 37,000, but he was in the NICU, so that was why it was pricey. I think my second one was about 20. And
Now,
that
are you
was
talking about just the birth at the end, or are you talking
about
about the whole
20? I think
process?
it was about $20,000 for me for
All
just
in?
just the birth.
So all in.
All in. Okay, yeah, all in. It's probably in the 50s, I would
50s.
guess, in North Carolina.
So like, what do you have to do? You have to take out a loan to pay back the.
When you check out, they give you loan paperwork.
Do they really?
Yeah.
We're getting into like a situation between like theoretical and like practical application. Like theoretically, I don't think the government should be doing anything of this. It shouldn't be the government's
Oh
thing.
my gosh, yes it is. What responsibility does the government have if it's not to protect its people and safeguard the continuation of its existence? You don't have kids, you don't have a country.
That should fall upon the household, right? I mean, that's the idea. Like, why should again, this is a theoretical thing, but
Should your job be held?
should your job be held? It's a very tough one. Also, should the employer be responsible to pay you leave while they have to hire somebody else to
I didn't
fill
say
your?
that they had to pay. I said that they had to hold your job.
Yeah. I don't have the answers to this, and I haven't thought it out well enough to give definite answers. I don't think we should be disincentivizing. I also don't think that we should be creating a profit incentive for people to be pregnant for 10 straight years.
Well, you put guardrails on anything, just like everything else.
I don't want people to think that they have to incur a lifetime of debt to bring a child into the world, and I don't want women to be seen as a liability in the workforce, that if I hire you, and this is true. Some of the most progressive companies in the world advocate for abortion because it's less expensive than losing the employee. Like some of these companies will fly you to, and I'm sure you're aware of this, and they'll say that it's, about women's rights, but really what it is about keeping their workforce intact.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes, big companies will like pay for you to go get an abortion vacation and then come back and not miss a beat. So let me ask you then, I don't have the answers. How would you like to see it done, Candice?
If all of these other countries have figured it out, I believe that we can. I do think America is the greatest country in the world. And I think we innovate, and we innovate when we have problems. And I think it is a problem that we have like abysmal birth rates, right? There's the birth gap that's happening everywhere, including in the United States. We say, what are we doing? You see countries like Hungary that are actually incentivizing women to have children, where if you have, I think it's 3 or more kids, you never have to pay taxes again. So it is a really real problem that we're just ignoring because we say we don't have the money. Meanwhile, we're spending billions of dollars on foreign aid, and we have so much red tape for every single thing that we try to get past. There was like that $1 million toilet in San Francisco. I forget the term for it, but there's this thing that is just normal practice when you're trying to get something pushed through. You're like, well, if you're going to do that, then what's in it for me? And you kind of just like, my father-in-law was explaining, and I can't remember the term for it, but you're basically just like layering on all of these additional costs and you're like, what was the original thing that we were trying to push through in the first place? But now there's
pork. You're doing
So
unfortunately, that's the way government works now. It's gross.
But we can do it, is the point. And to just say, oh, we're not going to do it, it's going to cost too much money. Where's the money coming from? There's a lot of money that's being misused right now. So how about it comes from that?
Generations worth of money being misused.
How about it comes from that?
Would much rather that money go back to the citizens. But if the money's not going to go back to the citizens, it should definitely go to subsidize life instead of death. That much I couldn't agree with you more on.
We printed money for 2 straight years. For what?
Yeah,
and you can't give it to moms?
That's a completely different argument, but yeah.
I'm saying the money is there when they want it to be there.
I think the money is so mismanaged, and there's so much bullshit and bureaucracy and fucking stealing going on.
Straight up corruption.
Straight up corruption.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know what the answer is to this. I think this, having maternity leave, women having children should be something that's, protected, taken care of, and I want to say finance more.
We have disability checks.
It should. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think 100% it should be something.
This is part of the problem with the whole polarization of the last 10 years of our culture and our political discourse, because this is theoretically something I can absolutely get behind, but the type of people that advocate for this turn me off so much that I'm just like, I don't really care. And I should care. I really should. But the pink hats and all these people, and it's just like, you've lied, manipulated, bullied. Even if this is something that I can get behind, this is something where you can advocate for, where I can be like, yeah, no, you know what, you have a point here. I have to almost like remove myself from it from a perspective of like, I don't want to give these people an inch on anything. They're just,
It should be bipartisan though. It's like you take care of people that need it. Right? And you just went through a very traumatic experience, which is giving birth. It takes you time. Like you're bleeding for 6 to 8 weeks after. You can't pick up anything heavier than your baby or you can hemorrhage and die. Like, so if you're going to give disability because someone is overweight and can't work, then why is the mom who just literally birthed a new human being that's going to continue on the species, why is she not entitled to the same thing?
If you were empress for a day, you were imperator.
I need a crown.
Yes. How would you like to see it go? What do you think is the right amount?
3 months. I think 3 months.
3 months.
Minimum.
Minimum.
So is that like sandwiched around? Is that like the last like 2 weeks, or is that 3 months after you give birth?
After you give birth.
Oh, good question. So what happens in the last trimester? Are you working up until? I think it's probably.
It depends on your job. I know a lot of women that work up until they give birth, and they want to.
They want to?
Maybe
they
stop
want
like
to.
A week before like their due date or something like that.
Usually the employer will encourage you to because they don't want you to give birth, and it's probably an insurance liability.
Has your water broken yet?
You know what I mean?
Like if you
please don't let your water break.
They don't
because if someone slips on the water.
Well, no, if like something happens to you or the baby, right? And then that happened on premise, then that's a risk that they don't want to take. And then there's a whole conversation that's going on with NICU babies. And I don't know if you guys saw what's going on with Kite Baby. So Kite Baby is a really popular baby clothing company.
She's Jewish, so she could say that.
Oh my God.
Kite with a T.
Oh.
Yes.
Mickey.
Yes.
Anyways, one of their employees was adopting a baby. Like they were going through IVF, it failed. They got approved to adopt this baby. Well, the baby ended up being super early and had to go to the NICU. And I mean like itty bitty baby. So the now adopted mom was like, I need to take time off. I have to go to the NICU to go be with this baby.
NICU is natal intensive care.
Yeah, and anyone that is a NICU parent, my first was in the NICU. It is your worst nightmare. It is your worst nightmare, and you're sitting there and you don't know if you're going to leave with a baby.
Yeah.
And that's devastating. Like, and then to have to worry about the bills that are coming, and it is not cheap. And then your employer says, well, she goes, they go, you can have 2 weeks. And she goes, okay, well, how about I do my job remote? Like, I promise I will get all my work done. Like she wasn't compromising on her effort. They go, actually, never mind. You can either be here the whole time or you can quit. So then out of ego, revoked the 2 weeks. So she made a video and all of these mamas are online uniting and showing their NICU babies. And I'll have to show you guys my oldest when we're done recording. It is like, shame on you. You are supposed to kind of be the pinnacle example of family and values, and take government out of it. Take what is supposed to be there. If you're a baby company and you're supposed to be supporting families when your employee needs it,
Yep.
You show up.
Sure.
Figure it out. And all of the bad press that they got is not worth what they would have paid this woman to be there with her baby.
For sure. Separation anxiety too is 90 days enough for you to then put the baby. Also, who watches the baby? The baby will die if you leave the baby alone. It's not like it's not a hamster.
They're gonna have to find childcare. Yeah.
They're paying for that too. What do you guys think about like free healthcare and all that stuff? I feel like that's something. Speaking of maternity leave, that's something where the money should be going to. For you to have some unfortunate shit happen to you, like you break your leg or you get fucked up somehow, and then you gotta, you might need to come thousands of dollars out of pocket. Like, I feel like that, I feel like there's got to be a better way there, where you're, you could be in the hospital fighting for your life, and now you're coming out of pocket tremendously.
Yeah, or God forbid your family member fought for their life and everybody chipped in to try to save them, and it wasn't enough, and now multiple members of the family are entered into a generational debt spiral. Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. We got to get rid of the term free healthcare. That's a lie in and of itself. It's subsidized healthcare. And again, if
does that mean like the government paying for it?
Yeah, because there's nothing free. Like nobody's dumping a bedpan for free.
No, of course.
No, I get that it, but a lot of times that word free healthcare gets thrown around.
If people are doing it for free, you're not going to have the best people doing it. You still want doctors to be paid well so that the best people aspire to be a doctor.
Correct.
Because it's a prestigious job where they make a lot of money and have a good livelihood.
Dude, I haven't been to the doctor in a decade. I would love for there to be some sort of more reasonably affordable healthcare and even the healthcare that I have, not have to go to one place for them to give me a permission slip to go to another place that, so now it takes, and they do it on purpose because they want to disincentivize you from going there, right? They want to, so.
Yeah, or people be in the hospital and then their insurance people are coming in trying to move them along.
Yeah, and I worked in the pharmaceutical industry.
Because I don't want to pay for it. They don't want to pay for it anymore.
Horrible. And it is horrible. And it's corrupt to its core, and there's no doubt about it, and it needs to be fixed. It's just it's such a thing that like the corruption, the rot is so deep. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a bug, it's a feature. They double bill on purpose because they know that some people will be like, "Oh my God, I gotta pay." They literally double. Like this is part. I mean, I
remember you telling me that when LJ's dad had passed.
Double bill all the time.
That was something we had to keep.
They'll bill the estate, then they'll bill the next of kin, and then when they're like, "Hey, I think I've already paid this," they'll be like, "Oh, okay,
our bad."
No, yeah." And they'll send like threatening letters. They'll threaten the shit out you, and then like you said, your dad's dead. And you're in a place of like, what's going on? And it's like, okay, I'll just write this out of the estate. Fine. what it has to do, what we really, I think, probably have to do is it has to be bifurcated. We have to do two things. There has to be some sort of like subsidized healthcare. There has to be like no different than public schools. Anybody can go to these anytime they want. And then if you want independent, individual healthcare, right, then there are these private hospitals that you can go to and all this other stuff, kind of like the NHS and all that other crap, right? Now, people always say, well, that's not right because that means that rich people will have better care than poor people, to which I say, let's fix that problem once we fix the other problem, right? Let's give access first, and then let's worry about the quality of the access next.
Yeah.
Right now, let's just get people, and again, this goes back to what you said, Candice, any argument, especially from the libertarian side, that we can't afford it, it's nonsensical after these last 4 or 5 years. It's nonsensical. They've spent so much money in killing people that if we took 1/10 of it into saving people, how many lives could have benefited? I mean, if we took 1/10 of the amount of money that we spent on COVID lockdowns, on the war in Ukraine, and on Israel, trillions and trillions of dollars. Don't even get me started on Iraq and Afghanistan, the $9 trillion. How many people could have been saved with $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Put into cleaning the water supply, put into...
You guys think they could cure cancer and they just suppress that because it's $1 billion industry? I think probably so.
I put it this way: they know they have these full body suits that like you could move around like they're almost spandex and they're like completely bulletproof, and you can give one of those to like every single infantryman, but they're like $280,000 each. So guess who don't get the bulletproof bodysuit? So could we have like an army of nanobots that would go through your bloodstream and attack the tumor and blow it up into a million different pieces and not have to do chemotherapy and radiation and all these other things?
Yeah, but chemo and all that shit, someone's making money off that. Someone powerful.
I don't know.
Gotta get money out of politics and money out of all this shit.
I'm not a doctor, but I do not trust the science.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% sure that they have medical advancements that we are not privy to.
I would agree with that.
That I'm 100% sure.